hello. How are we all this evening? I would say let the games begin. I'm sure, as I've seen in my Twitter mentions and YouTube comments, there's probably a lot of things to say about my team, which we'll come on to in a minute. It has been a brutal week. I hate Lundstrom. I mean, I love the guy, really. He's an FPL legend, but I hate that I don't own him. Now is the perfect time to use the hack excuse, says someone in chat. Try not to use that, let's be honest. Could have still had him. But yeah, brutal week for me, as you'll see. Well, you can see on the screen already. You don't need to see my team. 33 points. And I had a 25-point and a 37-point week recently. But those red arrows weren't too bad. This red arrow basically tripled my rank almost. It more than tripled, actually. I was 300k. And now I'm only just inside the top 1 million. Yeah, it couldn't have gone much worse, to be honest. So yeah, it's an awful week. Let's find out what happened. I think the average, I don't even know what the average was, but it was much higher than my game week rank. And so many people getting huge scores, like 70, 80 plus this week, getting right up the ranks. And I'm going completely the opposite way. So we'll do the sponsor shout out first, and then I'll get my team up, and I'll make sure there's some music on. There is some music on, it's just very loud, very quiet. So yeah, the stream is sponsored. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Not put me bloody green screen up high enough. I have to fix that. Everything's just going wrong. Everything. Jesus Christ. Okay, we're nearly there. Beautiful. Look at that for production value. Anyway, thanks very much to OneFootball for sponsoring this stream. If you haven't already checked it out, Android, iOS stores, completely free app. It's supposed to tell you when everyone in your FPL team scores. The problem is it didn't do that for me this week, and I can't think why. But hopefully next weekend, it will give me lots of flash scores or live scores of my players scoring. Maybe that will happen again. I've forgotten what it feels like. But like I said, if you want to download it, link is in the description below. It's completely free, or you can just search OneFootball on Android, iOS stores. Loads of news, and for FPL managers, I think the kind of live scores and team news is probably what you use it for the most. So I'm hoping it will show me some scores next week. But this weekend, the app wasn't rubbish. It was just my team that was rubbish. So we want to check that out if you haven't already. Loads of people have told me how much they're enjoying using it. Completely free. Try it out and see what you think. Okay. This is the team. It's just so bad. I don't even want to look at it. Nothing went right. Nothing. Where do we even start? Harry Maguire. I mean, Bournemouth were pretty rubbish. Man United were pretty rubbish too. It was a poor transfer. I did it late. This is the second late transfer I've done in the last couple of weeks, last few weeks. You know, KDB to Son was awful. This wasn't. I still don't think this is a bad transfer. I think Maguire will do well over the next 3 weeks. The problem is I knew I had players I needed to ship out this week, like Morpay, and I've only left myself with one transfer to do it. And as you'll find out soon, my transfer thoughts is I'm probably going to be taking a -8 this week. Obviously, I could have got Lundstrom this week. I was kind of looking ahead to, not wanting to play Diop. Soyuncu playing Arsenal this week, so I needed someone I wanted to play this week. And that is Harry Maguire. Obviously, Lundstrom, I will bring him back in. I kind of already earmarked game week 15 for when I wanted him back. Obviously, I should have had him this week. But I didn't, and I can't keep worrying about that. So I'm going to look for game week 15. I'm going to hope that the points dry up over the next few weeks. I do fully understand he is outscoring Salah, he's outscoring Sterling, and I should absolutely have him. Diop. I mean, I was always going to have Diop in my wildcard squad. I think the decision with Lundstrom was whether to have him or Tomori, and I went for Tomori. Basically because he had an extra game or something where I wanted to play him, whereas Lundstrom I didn't really want to. So Diop was always in my wildcard team. Obviously, Fabianski was fit at that point. Maybe they would have still conceded goals, I don't know. But obviously he's awful. The thing is, he's a defender. I can just bench him now. He's not a massive rush to get rid of. But not having Lundstrom is poor. So yeah, Maguire has kind of hurt me already. The thing is, one thing I will say is if I'd kept Otamendi, I almost certainly would have played him. So I wouldn't have got Soyuncu's points off the bench anyway. So the Maguire transfer has netted me 1 point. I would have been on 32 if I'd kept Otamendi. So, silver linings and all that. Rest of the team, Yarmolenko, that's the second time in 3 weeks now he's only played 45 minutes. Now, the first one was because he was injured and I didn't play him, so it wasn't that bad, and he came on for 45 minutes. But this week he went off on 45 minutes, so he needs to go, but I already knew that. But I probably have to keep him this week. So when I go through my team in a minute, I'll go through a bit of tinkering, transfers and all that good stuff. I'll go from there. Go all right, buy yourself a beer. I actually had loads of beer last night, not because of this, just coincidence, but thanks very much, appreciate it. So Morpay needs to go. It's really frustrating actually that he got 9 points against Everton and nothing against Norwich. But that's the way it is. Abraham, I think Mount is fine. I think he could have had a bigger haul at the weekend, so I want to keep him. I think Chelsea is still doing well. And he's cheap, right? So I think the biggest problem I have is money. Is trying to get the money for Vardy. I can't not have Vardy any longer, I don't think. I thought I might get away with this week. 88th minute and he scores. Oh, that Leicester game. The Leicester game was so frustrating. So frustrating. Soyuncu was on the bench. All I'll say, by the way, this weekend is my streams and my Twitter feed are pretty family friendly. It was so hard not to swear today. For anyone that didn't watch the Leicester game, Maddison, by the way, is so good at set pieces. Like, it makes me want to cry when I watch Man United players try and take a corner. I think we had like 5 corners against Bournemouth and only 1 cleared the first man. Maddison is brilliant at set pieces. But everyone was basically attacked by Evans, apart from this one, where Crystal Palace, to be fair, Soyuncu did make the run, but no one picked him up. He was basically free, 6 yards out, bam, straight into the goal. He's barely had a shot this season, then he scores. That was frustrating. And then Vardy, I haven't checked the stats, but I'm pretty sure he had 2 shots. And I know what he's like. I know he only needs a couple of shots to convert, and to be fair, it was a really nice build-up for that goal. Once you have a dummy in the build-up to a goal, it should be worth extra points. But yeah, just 2 shots and he scores in the 88th minute. And what was more annoying, just while I'm on this rant, is my missus. She messaged me to say, I can see that Vardy's done sweet FA. I'm like, yeah, he's not done anything, but they've still got a few minutes to play. And she's like, I should have captained Abraham. And then 2 minutes later, Vardy scores. And like, brr. So it was a poor week. I think it's made more frustrating because everyone smashed it, and also so many people have got people off the bench, and I've just got Soyuncu just staring at me. But whatever. Hi to Sam and Lee if you're watching. If not, thanks for sending people over. Am I Irish? No, I'm not. So that's basically my team. It's awful. Dropping to nearly 1 million rank at this stage in the season, when we're 11 game weeks in, is really poor. Again, the fact that I can drop 700,000 places almost in 1 week, I just need a good week to get back to it. Obviously, the problem is I need to get players that not necessarily everyone else has, which is a bit tricky because I really need Vardy, and he's well owned already. Yes, there are 4 polls if you want to go and vote on them. 4 polls. Initial game week 12 captaincy thoughts. I think it's going to be open this week because Liverpool play Man City. Ignoring formation, who's the best option? So I'm going to show you in a minute, but basically I'm looking between Martial and Jimenez. I'll explain why in a minute. Is it time to ship one of 2 Man City attackers? If you've got 2, of course. And is Sheffield United a viable double up? So if you want to vote on the polls, make sure you do. And click the little on the top right corner. If you're liking the stream, if you just want to give me a sympathy like on the stream, that would be appreciated, to be honest. So yeah, 1 good week. But obviously, I need 1 good week just to catch up with what I've just lost, and then a few more to go even higher than that, if that makes sense. Should have kept Lundstrom. Yes, I know. Everyone's told me that. I realise that. I should have kept Lundstrom and captained him, to be honest. No, yeah, I'm not going to... So the thing is, I was speaking to West Ham defensive players do need addressing. Let me put the actual team for next week up, because obviously I'm not playing Diop. Right? I think my defence actually looks okay this week. This is what I'm playing. I'm benching Soyuncu again. Hoping that Aubameyang can score. Maybe not Aubameyang, any other Arsenal player who's not him. So one free transfer is not enough to fix this team, and this is what I'm going to come on to in a minute. And just as a nice segue, I was talking a lot in the Patreon Slack today. Big buzz in there because everyone's done really well apart from me. And I was kind of talking over my team. So just to give a shout out to the Patreon guys. Look, I've bloody green screen again. I'll fix that another time because it doesn't look as bad on this screen. Basically, so I give you the very insightful thing why my green screen is different, because I had a shelving unit that was keeping it up because it's not against the wall. Then I moved that, and then I realised I had nothing to prop the green screen up, so I don't have the green screen up all the way, which is fine on this screen. It's not fine on this screen. Oh, for Christ's sake, you can see it on there. Give up. Just give up. Can't do anything right. So I basically need to just cap it down a bit. So that's the really interesting, insightful reason that my green screen is like that. Yeah, thanks to all the producers on the screen, and thanks to everyone that's basically signed up, especially everyone who's in the Slack. It's really buzzing these days. There's so many people in there. It's great to see all the discussions. So I've been talking about my team in there, which I'm going to talk about now. But just to say, Jansky, new, I think, returning Patreon. Thanks very much. League codes, if you're worried about that, they will go out Monday or Tuesday. And the Slack invites will go out straight away. If anyone else wants to sign up, link is in the description below. Okay, so this is the team for next week, right? Watch his internet end the stream. Look, my internet's okay tonight. I don't know what the difference is, though, between tonight and the other night, but whatever. Interestingly enough, there's some broadband wires on the main road just outside my estate. They're putting wires in all the way from the town out to where I am. Now, someone told me that was for business reasons, not for residential, but there was engineers outside my house a couple of weeks ago, and now there's a broadband wire at the end of my street. Surely I'm getting fibre at some point. Gora, 20k overall rank. I think I need Mane. Sterling out for Mane. So I'm taking out Sterling this week, I think. I'm pretty sure I am, anyway. So I do not think... I put this out on Twitter last week because I spoke about it on stream. Am I a business? No, but... No, I don't think I explained that properly. We emailed, just to bore you for a sec, we emailed a broadband council person, and he said the line that was being put in from the town to out here was for businesses. But why would they have engineers in a residential estate? So I'm hoping it comes in for residential reasons as well as business. But anyway, I'm thinking of selling Sterling. Now, for me, one reason is because I need the money. I don't really have a good way of doing it without getting rid of him, what I want to do. But I put it out on Twitter, and I spoke about it on the last stream. I'm not going to captain a Man City player for the next kind of 7 game weeks. So I've got to think of something to do, right? I don't think I can go without Vardy. I could get Jimenez in for a -4 and go without Vardy, but I just think I have to get him in now, I think. Morpay has to go. So this is basically what I'm thinking of doing, right? A -8. And this is another thing I was chatting about in the Slack, is I'm behind, right? I don't have Vardy. I've got Yarmolenko that needs to go. I don't have Lundstrom. He's another player I'm going to need to get in soon. Morpay needs to go. So if I just make 1 or 2 transfers this week, I'm just going to be chasing for the next few weeks. So I'm thinking about just pulling the Band-Aid off. The stream's got poor, is it? I don't know. I can't do anything about it, as always. So I'm thinking about just taking a -8, making 3 transfers, maybe getting Lundstrom in Gameweek 15, and then just hopefully... Because this doesn't even include Salah to Mane. That's another transfer that I might want to make in a couple of weeks' time as well. So yeah, it's a bit of a struggle right now. So this is what I'm thinking of doing. So now, depending on which way around to do this, I can take out De Bruyne or Sterling. It doesn't have to be Sterling. The only thing Sterling does is it gives me extra money to upgrade. But of course, like I kind of always say, once you take the money out, of Sterling, you spread it around. It's then spread around for if you ever need to get him back. So I'm getting rid of more pay because I just don't think the fixtures are good enough. Man United away, look, we can debate all stream long whether that's a good fixture, but I'm not expecting to score too many goals. Like Man United have only conceded a couple more goals than the likes of Liverpool and Man City. They don't get bad. I'm not expecting Brighton to batter Man United, so I'm hoping for a clean sheet there. Leicester, Liverpool, Arsenal, Wolves, it's just 5 not good teams to play against, in my opinion. So I think he needs to go. And also, I kind of want Jimenez, I want Vardy, they're going to go up in price. I'm not going to get punished by more pay. So I think he's going. So there's 2 things I can do. I can switch to 3-4-3, which would be this. So I basically have a dead midfielder, whoever that may be. Your team needs my team does need a wild card, you're right. So whoever, 4.5 million, and then Vardy, and then Jimenez. So that would basically be 3-4-3. And that would give me 2 million to upgrade Yarmolenko the week after. So again, this is what I'm saying. I've then got Yarmolenko to sort next week. Still don't have Mane, and I still don't have Lundstrom. So this is even with a -8. This is how far behind my team is right now. So that way I switch to 3-4-3. Play 3 of the defenders, of course. Salah, De Bruyne, Yarmolenko, Mount, Vardy, Abraham, Jimenez up front. I think they're probably the 3 best forwards right now. Or I can stay on 3-5-2 and not get Jimenez. And the beauty of that is... Oh, sorry, I'll do it this way. The beauty of this way around is I get rid of Yarmolenko this week. And then so I've already sorted that, if that makes sense. So like this, basically. So this is where the Martial and... let me just find him. This is where the Martial versus Jimenez thing comes in. The thing with Martial is obviously he is a bit injury prone. Maguire's pretty steady. Jimenez is pretty steady. And then basically I can get a lesser defender in. Midfielder in. Tielemans or Maddison. It doesn't matter. So basically, this is what it comes down to for me this week. I think I'm taking the -8, and I think I'm getting rid of Sterling. I'm pretty sure I'm going to go through with that. So if I go this way, Martial instead of him. I mean, it doesn't have to be Martial. It could be anyone up to 8.8 million, but there isn't many midfield options that I don't already own that I can actually afford. So the thing with this is I get to stay 3-5-2, and I also deal with Yarmolenko now. So basically I've kind of reset my team, and there's no transfers I absolutely have to do the week after. Yes, Salah to Mane could be done, and Lundstrom could come in at some point, but I don't need to do their moves in the next couple of weeks. So that would just sort it out. If I go the 3-4-3 way, then I'm basically delaying a transfer. I still have Yarmolenko to sort out. I hope this all makes sense. I'm trying to make sure I'm explaining it properly. So you go for the 4.5 million. You get Jimenez in now instead of Greenwood. And basically you switch to 3-4-3. But I still have Yarmolenko which I do have money to upgrade him, but I have to do another transfer to do that. So the thing is, I think I prefer Jimenez to Martial. I don't like having to use another transfer to still sort the team out. And also then I'm fully switched to 3-4-3. So if I want to switch back, it's extra transfers to do that. So that's basically my thought process right now. I'm definitely taking the -8. Oh well, I'm pretty sure I'm going to take the -8. It just depends which way around I want to do it. So I think this is so I will get Maddison or Tielemans. It's just whether you do this week or next week. And it's Jimenez versus Martial. If I get Martial, I can get the Leicester midfielder this week. If I get Jimenez, I have to wait till the week after, basically. I feel like getting ahead on Jimenez might be good. I mean, the thing is, Martial versus Jimenez in terms of fixtures aren't that bad. Jimenez's ownership is not that high, 11.3. I would still consider that a pretty big differential. I don't know what he's like in the top 10k, but he's pretty good. I don't think I'm that behind on Jimenez. Sure, there's a lot of people talking about him in the FPL community, like on Twitter, but he's still only 11% owned, so he's not that high. So that's basically I think that's what I'm going to do. I think I have to do it. I think I have to take the hit and just get it over with. I could take De Bruyne out instead of Sterling, but this leaves me more money, basically. What about the Yanks? I can't get Pulisic because I have 3 Chelsea players already. And I was chatting about this in Slack earlier. Yes, he does look like the nailed on one right now. But how long will that last? Hudson-Odoi is not just going to suddenly become a cut player. You'd imagine he's going to get a start in the league at some point. Although Pulisic is obviously in great form. No Man United, no Spurs, period. Mapai will outscore Jimenez for the season. Maybe so, but I don't really care about the season. It's about the next few weeks, right? And Mapai does not have the fixtures for that. 3-4-3 option looks good. I think I prefer the 3-4-3. It just leaves me another transfer behind. Which space where it is. Anyway, Salah to Martial. Liverpool's fixtures are good. So I don't really want to get rid of Salah. If I get rid of Salah, it'll just be for Mane. Manav, thanks very much for that. Yeah, I absolutely agree. That was a horrific injury. I don't think you can say you hope he gets back soon. I don't think that's going to happen, but fingers crossed he obviously gets all the help he can at the club and they get him back as soon as possible. You're screwed. Well, yeah. First war in fantasy, don't do the minus. Yeah, look, hits, not taking hits is good, but I feel like surgery is needed. I need to get to a point where I'm making transfers to get ahead, not to stay behind. Yeah, who the bench fodder is, don't get too caught up on that. I've not given it any thought. It would just be a cheap midfielder. Consider Trossard I like, but for the same thing as more pay, fixtures are not great. I'm not going to be bringing in Brighton players right now. That's for sure. Just told you should have taken the free. Yeah. I could have taken the free here. We don't know if I'd be in the same position now. I would have had Lundstrom, definitely. I would never have sold him, but would I have played him this week? Who knows what defence I would have had. Thoughts on Liverpool fullback double up after City match? I think the fixtures are good enough for it, yeah. If you've got the money. Trent out, no chance. I don't think anyone says never ever take a hit. You try and reduce the amount you take, but sometimes you just need them. I don't think anyone ever says don't ever take hits. No matter what happens in your FPL season, never take hits. No one really says that. What overall rank am I aiming for? Number 1, of course. Your FPL team reminds me of Everton. A manager under pressure isn't quite sure what formation to go with. I want to go for the 3-4-3. Do I trust Martial? I'm not sure I do. Number 2 in the world got 101 points. Oof. That's pretty sweet. There was research done comparing managers who took hits last season to those who didn't. There was very little difference in end of season rank. Yeah, look, I've said it a million times. My best ever season, sure, it's not elite, not top 1k or anything, but top 5k, I took 96 points worth of hits. So I'm more than happy to use them when I need to. It has been a while though, I think. Let me have a look. They've only taken 1 hit all season so far. And that is changing this week. The one thing, if I bring in him in it, let me just make that look a bit better. The interesting thing, if I bring in Jimenez and Vardy, I think that would make me struggle for captaincy a bit more. I think if I bring in Martial and Vardy, I'll captain Vardy. If I bring in Jimenez and Vardy, it's a different game. What would Sam Allardyce do if you manage your team? Bring in a few more defenders, probably. I'm in £700 mini leagues. It surely motivates me to avoid mistakes like doing Lundstrom to D up. Yeah, Yeah, fair enough. John Lundstram should be knighted by the Queen. I mean, we thought Wan-Bissaka was great last year. Lundstram is better. No doubt about it. I mean, it was nice that Wan-Bissaka picked up clean sheets, bonus here or there. But scoring goals and getting clean sheets, that is the way forward. Do I think Vardy might rise now? I'm not sure. By the way, last night, I don't know if FPL statistics suddenly made changes to Salah's net transfers out, but when I looked, he was on like 7%, and then I couldn't believe he'd gone down in price, and people were telling me he was on 80, so I don't know if there was just a sudden surge in transfers out, or a lot of people just suddenly transferred him out. Oh, sorry, or if they updated their percentages, but yeah, he went down again. There's only 0.4 million difference now between Salah and Mane. That hurts. There's another load of value loss if you ever make that move. Yeah, Vardy's on 32.6% to rise, so shouldn't rise tonight, but who knows. United to make a bid on Lundstram probably would improve the midfield. Yeah, Vardy already rose last night, so it wouldn't be great if he rose again, but you never know. I thought you said you weren't doing November. I'm not doing November. I do need to probably shave though. Why a 4.5 million mid if you have 2 million in the bank? Because that 2 million would be used on Yarmolenko to Maddison or Tielemans. And then, yeah, I want bench fodder basically. I don't want to have 8 attackers. That just gives me another headache every week. Okay, good question. Had Vardy not gotten that late chance today, would you still say is essential, considering you didn't see it that way after the Saints' performance? He might not be essential after all. So, I think what I said was before this week, my last tweet on it was I didn't think he was essential this week. I still don't think he's essential, but it's very hard to ignore him right now. Yeah, I didn't think he would necessarily get that much against Palace. Obviously, he did. But that his fixtures were good to come, and there wasn't really a good reason not to own him. So, you know, Arsenal, the way Arsenal are playing right now, is probably not the worst fixture. It's really the fixtures after that I like. But he's not going to be a bad player to own this week. Brighton, Everton, Watford, Villa, Norwich. That's a pretty sweet set of fixtures. And the thing is, then he's got Man City away, Liverpool at home, which are not ideal, but that's on the 21st and 26th of December. And what more could you want over Christmas than someone who never misses a match when they're fit, who's on penalties? And then West Ham away, Newcastle away. So quite a few away games over Christmas, which is a bit of a worry. I mean, he could get irritated at some point. But yeah, he's just going to be good. And the thing is, I think I've kind of come to the terms with the fact I'm not going to captain Sterling. I'm going to get rid of him. Now, Gameweek 20, which is just after Christmas. Excuse me, sorry. Hang on. I might have to get him back, but yeah, still. I'll worry about that in 8 game weeks time and hope that I've got a proper frog in my throat. And hope my rank is improved by then. Sterling is 1 yellow card from a ban. He is, yeah. That's not really factored into my decision, though, to be honest. It would be frustrating if Sterling then goes nuts as soon as I get him out. But so this is what I'm looking at, right? So game week 12, Man City are playing Liverpool away. I'm not going to captain a Man City player. You got Jimenez against Villa. You got Vardy against Arsenal. You got Abraham against Palace, which I think is okay too. Game week 13, Man City home to Chelsea. Now, to be fair, they smashed Chelsea last year, and they could do it again. Chelsea, they've been okay in defence, but not amazing. And Man City at home, so they could do well in that game. But I don't think I even want to captain Salah against Crystal Palace away. So then I'm kind of left with Wolves against Bournemouth away, Or again, Vardy against Brighton away. So potentially not going to captain a City player then. And then a week after, it's Newcastle away. Look, Man City are great, but Newcastle away, that just seems like a potential for disaster given how they can sometimes defend. So then you've got Abraham against West Ham, Vardy against Everton, Jimenez against Sheffield United, and Liverpool against Brighton. So could have Mane by then, could captain Salah. So we're just not going to be captaining. Like even the week after that, Man City got Burnley away, and obviously Man City can score goals. It's Burnley away. Vardy's got Watford. Jimenez has got West Ham. And who's the other one? Chelsea. Chelsea got Villa. So Abraham, Vardy, and Jimenez could be captains. I never thought I would say this at the start of the season. But yeah. Could I do anything different if I did Yarmolenko to Harvey Barnes? I mean, I'd have Harvey Barnes and still no Vardy. I couldn't get Jimenez, without another hit. So not really. I do like Harvey Barnes, but I don't know about their midfielders. I mean, Maddison was pretty decent today. Tielemans looked good as he always does, but I think Vardy's the one in. Thanks for putting my question in the poll. No worries, Matthew. Thanks for tweeting. At least Maguire didn't get sent off. He did have a few chances from corners and set pieces, but watching the ball hit the first man every time. What should you do with Hudson-Odoi? I mean, he has to go, right? He's just not starting week in, week out. Greetings from Poland. Hello. Yeah, I'm not 100% set on Tielemans. It could be Maddison. I don't know. It could be neither of them. Maybe I just go for Martial. Maybe I go Jimenez, Vardy, and Martial instead. I just can't bring myself to bring Ings in. The thing about, I mean, it might not work out like this, but here's the thing with Vardy and Jimenez. You put them in, you keep them in. Like, they're good long-term picks. I think what my team needs is, I put in more pay for 2 weeks, and I'm having to take him out again. Ings, yes, very low ownership, and his fixtures are good. So just for anyone that hasn't checked, Everton at home, Arsenal away, Watford at home, Norwich at home. That's a pretty good set of 4 fixtures. Newcastle away, so-so. West Ham at home, Villa away. So the next few fixtures are good, for sure. But what if he gets injured? I mean, he has been pretty fighting fit this year. I just don't think I can bring myself to do it. And then if he does get injured, it's another transfer I need to use. Vardy and Jimenez, the reason I like them so much is they're not that injury prone. They start every game. Both of them mostly have penalties. Jimenez, he might give it to whoever. I can't remember his bloody name. Is it Neves he gives them to? Not gives them to, but they share them, don't they? It's not I can't remember. Mine's completely gone blank. Musa, yeah. The thing is, Sheffield United's next 3 fixtures are not ideal for attack and returns, I don't think. I'm sure they'll prove me wrong. But again, he's 4.9. Once you lumber yourself with someone like 4.9, it doesn't really help me either, to be honest. I've looked at it. Yeah, it is Neves, okay. Put Williams in for Maguire. No, I can't do it after I disrespected him. Robertson or Tielemans for the next 5-6. I'll probably actually go Robertson, to be honest. I'm not considering Aubameyang. I'm struggling to get the money for Vardy, let alone Aubameyang. When do I plan to do these transfers? So, as much as I don't want to lose any more value, there are Champions League games this week, so I'm going to wait. And it's going to hurt. But given I got 2 million kind of resting on this, I think it's okay to wait. Mount to Pulisic, not on the cards currently, no. I think if you've got the team that you like and the funds to do it, I think Salah and Mane double up is a pretty sweet differential for the next good few weeks. That's hoping that Salah actually does something. If you're not going to captain Salah, is he worth 12.3 million? Yeah, look, I've thought about this, but at the end of the day, I've got to prioritise my transfers. I think Liverpool are about to have a fixture swing, so now is probably not the time to transfer out Salah. Would I swap for Mane if I could? Yeah, probably, but I don't have more. I want to get rid of more pay. Yarmolenko needs to go too. There's plenty of other transfers I need to do. Salah out before a good fixture run is not one. Hopefully he's over this ankle problem. I think the next 2 weeks. I don't think I'll be. I mean, would I be tempted to captain Mane for Man City at home or Palace away? Maybe. But I think I'm happy to have Salah. I'm probably not going to captain a Liverpool player the next 2 weeks. Then it's Brighton, Everton, Watford at home in the next 4, and Bournemouth away. So then I might look at captain them. If Salah's back to form, maybe I'll look at him. Otherwise, I may do the Salah to Mane transfer. I was thinking about doing that this week, but I just don't think I can go without VARDY any longer. I can actually go with this. The way I'm set up now, I could technically, if I don't upgrade Yarmolenko by too much, I can do De Bruyne to Mane. Give really good advice. Not this week. Not any weeks this season. I think Daniel James will be fine for a few weeks. My only worry about Man United attackers, because on paper the fixtures look good. Brighton, Sheffield United and Villa. But especially like Sheffield United are not going to... Man United want to counter-attack. They cannot break teams down. They don't have a good enough squad. They've got no kind of, no Eriksen there. I mean, Eriksen's obviously playing awful, but, no Eriksen or Ozil to kind of unlock a defence. They've got Pereira playing number 10. Rashford, who just wants to run at people. Same for James. James just tries to beat everyone for pace. It's just, I don't think it's going to worry these teams too much. It's one of the things that worries me about Martial. I know, the fixtures look good on paper. I just worry that it's going to be 3 game week. I think Brighton and Villa are good. Sheffield United I'd be worried about. Then after those 3 fixtures, it's Spurs, Man City, Everton. I just don't know how many points are coming here. I don't think James is overrated at all. I think he's barely rated, to be completely honest. Oh, what's up, Suge? I mean, really, I should probably be prioritising doubling up on Bournemouth defence. Get Rico and Ake in. Ake was really good, by the way, against Man United. I don't know if the wind was just bad for Man United and then settled down when they switched halves, but it really seemed to make Maguire and Lindelof think twice every time. Ake just seemed to sweep everything up. So good. Will Solskjaer go shopping for a midfielder in January? I'm sure he will. I think he'll probably just go for the big name. That's Man United's transfer policy recently. If there's a big name available in January, just get him. Whether or not they're thinking with the team or not. Fit in with the team or not. You're going to get rid of Matt Ryan for someone like Pope. I wouldn't be getting Pope. Thing is, Henderson you might as well wait because he's going to blank soon when they play Liverpool. When they play Man United. Because he can't play. So I think you just keep Ryan for now. I know Brighton's fixtures are tough, but Pope has not been doing much. Listen to my own advice. I'm not sure I'd advise anyone to take a -8 in this situation, but I think I'm just going to do it and hope for the bloody best. I think Ake could definitely play. I don't want to say a bigger team because Bournemouth are doing so well at the moment. Pope has been rubbish. The thing is, I've been thinking about this bit because I know on my team videos I always talk about Pope really briefly. I'm not going to use a transfer. So Pope is doing pretty rubbish, 36. So the likes of Ryan, Henderson, Ramsdale are all 12 points ahead. So, it's about just over an extra point a game week. Is that worth using a transfer on? Not sure. All it takes is for Pope to finally get a good clean sheet with a few saves. West Ham, Watford, Palace could do it in one of them. And the rest to all concede. And suddenly he quickly chases up. So I think goalkeepers can just change so quick. Still playing without the greatest F. Is London been the greatest FPL asset of all time. I mean, Charlie Adam back in the day for Blackpool was pretty damn good. All set pieces, including penalties, always got 3 bonus points, no matter whether they won or lost. It was like 5 million, 6 million, something like that. Lundstrom 9.5 million forward this year. Imagine if they put him in as a defender again. They definitely messed up there. Someone messed up. I know we spoke about this before, but when he got put as a defender, and then everyone was saying he's playing in midfield, I was like, alright, he must have played in defence and midfield a bit over his career, but he hasn't. He's never played in defence. Like, ever. So it ain't good. You bench Rico, yeah, fair enough. Funny thing is, your subscriptions go up the worse your rank. People like a good curry. I was thinking that. I've had 1,500 viewers at one point tonight. And that's pretty high considering we're 11 game weeks into the season on a Sunday. So FPL's like that, actually. When people... Generally, the views go up when people have a great week because they want to come and tell you about it. If everyone has a poor week, the numbers are down. It's quite interesting, to be honest. So this week, I don't think it's just that people want to see my car crash of a game week. I think it's also because they've done really well. The next manager to be sacked will be me. I can't have another... Let me look at my game week scores. I don't even want to look. Let's bring it up on the main screen so you can cry with me. Or you can watch me cry. 7 million players now, by the way. So look at this. Oh, this is just so bad. So in the last 4 weeks... Can you see that? No, now I've made it too big. You can't see that kind of. But anyway, the last 4 weeks I've had 3 scores of less than 40. I've gone from 245k. So sorry, 209k in game week 7. This is after the week that I got hacked. Down to 1 million. I'm not even sure I can recover. We'll see. We'll try. Try is all we can do. One thing is for sure, I'll be here every week, no matter how awful I am. I mean, it'd be interesting. I should have done a poll after I talked about what my plans were, whether people think a -8 is too risky or not. Here's the thing, I feel like people who say no -8 will also be the same people that when this team fails again next week will be telling me I've got all the wrong players. You went from 200k to 2 million in 3 weeks. Oh, that is harsh. Lewis, you just subscribed. Thanks very much. Yeah, if you haven't already subscribed, if you're new around here, you want to see someone do awful at FPL every week, make sure you subscribe and hit that bell. 70 plus points. Damn. I think this is almost worse because last week was a 66. That was a nice little recovery, and then bam, straight into awfulness. So a -4, right? So I can get Vardy with a -4. I'm trying to think about. Yeah, so I can get Vardy with a -4. I'm trying to think about why that's not really something I want to do. So obviously, if I'm going to get Sterling out anyway, like I can get Vardy out. I can get Sterling out for. Let's just say Maddison, right? Whatever. So I can do that. Got 2 Leicester players. 352 is still on. And I've got the money to upgrade Yarmolenko next week. But again, it has to be Martial then. So that only cost me 4 points. But that's with Martial. I can't get Jimenez. So I've got to do the -8, basically. If I don't do it this week, I'll have to do it next week anyway. So if I want Jimenez, it has to be -8. If I'm happy enough with Martial, I keep Yarmolenko for 1 more week. And I just do this. So I can just take a -4. The -8 is not, doesn't have to be that. I feel like I'm delaying, that's all. I know that Salah, I'm repeating myself now, I know, but Salah to Mane is something I'm going to want to do. In game week 15, I'm going to want Lundstrom. I need Yarmolenko gone. If not this week, next week. Anyway. And by getting Maddison and Vardy, I'm basically getting in players that people have already got. Whereas Jimenez, maybe a little bit of a differential. I know he's been talked about quite a bit. I mean, Maddison's already owned by 15%. Am I considering getting rid of Salah? Look, Salah is a worry for sure. It's a lot of money for a player with an ankle problem. Hopefully he gets rested midweek. They maybe give him some extra time to try and recover from it. Again, it's just... The thing with FPL is this is why you shouldn't worry about what everyone else is doing. Everyone's team is in a different position, situation, whatever. Like, if you've had a great week this week, you already own Vardy, you already own Mane, etc., then you can probably think about taking Salah out or think about just doing nothing. But for me, I can't do that. Salah is not on the priority list, basically. If you get Mane in for Salah, you know Salah's going to do bits. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I actually think the closer the price gets, the more that worry will be there. Because once there was a million difference. No, was it a million? Was he 11.5? Yeah, he was 11.5, wasn't he? Yeah, I think. Yeah. So when there was a million difference, you could make the transfer, still worry about Salah doing bits, essentially. But you had a million, and that was kind of your, okay, fine, Salah's done okay, but I've got another million to spend out, and Mane will recover. As the price gets close, I think that worry becomes more, because you're not gaining anything then. You're basically matching them up against each other. Obviously, it's still 0.4 million, but that's not anywhere near as much as when it was a million. Does that make sense? I feel like I'm not explaining anything tonight. But I said this in an article I wrote for Fanatics Football Scout last week, I think it was. I've pretty much come to terms, or come to peace with myself, that I will own Mane instead of Salah at some point, and I'll be fine with that. And I think Mane can keep up points wise. It's just one of those things where I've just not had a transfer to do it. Again, I mean, we've talked about Salah and Mane to death. I've said plenty of times, having Mane, absolutely fine, no issues with it. But you have to prioritise transfers, right? Who am I captaining this week? You usually have that locked in early. Yeah, I've got to go back to doing no transfers on a Saturday. Like, if I was 100% sure that I was bringing in Maguire if he was fit, that'd be okay, but I wasn't. I just made that decision on Saturday morning. Hopefully I'll be alright for the next 3 game weeks, though. Who am I captaining this week? You usually have that locked in. So my captain will be probably Vardy, because I'm pretty sure I'm definitely bringing him in. If I go the Jimenez route, then I do think that makes it tougher, because I do prefer the Villa fixture. The only thing is, again, when you watch Palace again today, or when you watch Leicester against Palace, Tielemans and Maddison, they're still just always looking for that ball in behind to Vardy, either through the centre-backs, around the full-back, or whatever it might be. They're always on the lookout for that ball kind of over the top or around the back of the defence. And Arsenal are probably going to give them more chances to do that than Crystal Palace did today. And obviously they're at home, so that's going to help too. So Vardy is probably the one. Villa, I mean, obviously Villa did really well against Liverpool, but again they're away this week to Wolves, to a Jimenez that seems to be on the up as well a bit. So it will be tricky. I think I'll probably go Vardy. It's annoying to do it in the week where everyone's going to do it, but it is what it is. I'm not going to captain a Liverpool and City player. I think that one's interesting because I think it's actually a shame that Liverpool came back and won that game, because it's still 6 points in it now. If they'd lost, there'd only be 3, and then I think it would have been tight. I think it would have been more easy to predict. I think Man City have got to go for it. So I think last year they drew 0-0 this early on in the season. I think Man City will go for it a bit more this year. It's away from home, so maybe not. But obviously, if they can get one over Liverpool, that's huge this early in the season. So I think they will go for it, but I just don't want to take the risk that it's a tight game and I've captained Salah or De Bruyne because I won't own Sterling. Oh, that's scary. Any thoughts on Bobby Firmino and Liverpool double-ups? There is a part of me, probably the pessimistic side, because I'm not doing very well right now. It actually makes me think Firmino could outscore Vardy over the next 6. Now, maybe not game week 12 and 13, because it's Man City at home, Crystal Palace away versus whatever Vardy's got, Arsenal at home and Brighton away, is it? But then for Firmino, it's Brighton, Everton, Bournemouth, Watford. I think he could do well in that 4 game week stretch. So yeah, I think Liverpool double up could be good. Obviously, that's if you're looking at Firmino versus Vardy. Maybe you can afford both. Quite possible that you could. If you haven't already, make sure to vote on the polls. Click the little eye in the top right hand corner and we'll get them voted on. Any concerns over Pope? Yes, but not enough to worry about him. I mean, Firmino should have scored this weekend, right? I don't know, I just think for my team there's times to be clever and I'm not sure going for Firmino over Vardy is the move to make. Because if Vardy continues to smash it, I'm not gonna want. I mean, Firmino's got a blank. I don't want to start talking about the blank this early on because there's a lot of points to be won before then. But if he doesn't beat Vardy, then he's also got a blank, so he's definitely a transfer out. And Vardy will have risen in price as well. So I don't know. I don't think I'm going to do that. Firmino and Sterling to Vardy and Mane. I mean, I think that's definitely the better combo, yeah. Vardy and Mane. Vardy and Mane. Yeah, I've already said, like, Maddison's set pieces today was so good. Salah to McTominay this week and then Yarmolenko to Mane. Oof, McTominay. I'm not sure about that. I know he scored pretty well this season, but still. Yeah, no, there could be goals in that Man City Liverpool game, but I just, you know me, I always play very similar way. I'm not going to target that game. I think it's very hard to predict because it's like you could. I think you could say it either way. You could frame it either way. It's going to be open because Man City can get one over on Liverpool if they win that game. That's 3 points. They're only behind 3 points. It's a big psychological boost for them. It's probably a bit of a confidence knock for Liverpool. On the other hand, could Pep think, yeah, look, I could go for it, but what if we lose? Then it's 9 points, the gap. You've only got to play them one more time. You know, it wouldn't be season over because so much can happen, obviously, between now and the end of the year. But 9 points is already a big kind of gap to close. So I don't know. We could sit here all day and kind of frame it one way or the other. I guess my instinct would probably be that Pep will want to get over him, but it's away from home. I think, you know, if it was Man City at home, I think that would make a difference given how the league is positioned. But away at Anfield, I mean, I think the atmosphere there is going to be insane. Liverpool would want to be a dull draw to maintain the gap since City's interest to go for the win. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Pep always does want to win. Yeah, I'm not saying he's going to go out and park the bus, but you know, it was tight this time last season. Anyway, I'm going to do the polls. I need to bring back the thing. Yeah, I fully get that Pep wants to win every game. I mean, every manager does, right? And he's pretty aggressive, but they lose that game, that would be huge. You know, players be nervous as well. I think, even though it's this early on in the season, they know what's at stake, right? Okay. Let me find the polls. Okay, so your initial Game Week 12 captaincy thoughts. Of course, Vardy is number one, 49%. But again, Abraham not far behind, 33%. I think, like, don't get me wrong, Vardy has had a hell of a season so far. Cannot knock it. But Abraham, who game week 2 came off the bench, he's pretty much played outside that, but he missed one game. Did Vardy miss any games? Don't think so. And he's only 7 points behind. I mean, arguably, could you argue that Abraham's having a better season FPL-wise than Vardy? I guess not, because he's literally not. But he did miss a game. Hasn't played as many 10-man teams, perhaps. I think Abraham's just as good a captain option this week as Vardy. Nas, thanks very much. Yeah, at home maybe. But then that Newcastle game, he could have done well in. Didn't he hit the bar? He missed or there was a clearance off the line from near point blank range. Another day he gets points. But yeah, fair enough. Liverpool attacker 4%, Man City attacker 2%, and then 9% on someone else. Maybe Jimenez there. Ignoring formation, who's the best option? 66% on Jimenez. Ouch. And Martial on 33%. Time to ship out. Is it time to ship out one of our 2 Man City attackers? 59% of you saying yes, 41% saying no. And then is a Sheffield United double up in defence viable? 53% of you still saying no, even though they've done so well this year. That's interesting. I thought that would swing. I didn't think it would swing highly to yes, but I thought it would. Vardy is just doing everything he always does. Mr. Consistent. By the way, so for Mane, here's a way to do it with Mane. So this is not the only way. If I wanted the Man City double up, yeah, let me put this back on screen. If I wanted the Liverpool double up even, could do that way. But I don't have much money to upgrade Yarmolenko then, and I'm without any Man City players. I'm not sure I want to do that. No, I'm not using my free hit. I'm basically waiting till the end of the season when I'm ranked 2 million to use that free hit chip to get me up to the top 10k spot. Lunchroom for D-up, yeah, sure, but not yet. Why don't you just switch Louise for Tielemans? Bench Yarmolenko and save a transfer next week and do Maguire and Yarmolenko to Robertson. Oh, I don't know. I can't get my head around that, but it sounds awful. I mean, I'd still be stuck without Vardy and co then. We have the same problems with Pope and Yarmolenko. I tell you, my ideas are to completely ignore it right now and sort my other issues out. Yarmolenko will have to wait, I think, a week for me. Unless I want to get Martial instead of Jimenez. I've kind of already spoken about this quite a lot. Pope just has to stay for me. There's no way I can prioritise a goalkeeper transfer right now. To be honest. Yeah, so on Diop, I fully get I got that wrong, right? Holding my hands up, but again, where's the priority to transfer him out? He's second on my bench only because Greenwood just never plays. So Soyuncu will come on if I miss anyone out. So I'm basically not playing him. I won't be playing him next week either. Just not the right time to get rid of him. I can get Martial and Jimenez if I don't get Vardy. Yeah, exactly. Pope's next 3 are okay. West Ham, Watford, Crystal Palace. The Watford game's away. Stop getting Man United players. All right. Big day, thanks very much. 61 points and 608 overall. Oof, no Liverpool attack, nice. Pulisic. You captained Yarmolenko and you got 86. Jesus. You play so. There's no way I'm benching Maguire after I just brought him in. No way. Brighton at home. Look, it might be wrong. Soyuncu might outscore him again. Absolutely. Fair play if he does. But I'm not bringing in Maguire, which has kind of screwed my long-term transfers now. At my own fault, I will say. No one else's. Then to bench him against Brighton at home. Is that overall point score correct? Yeah, I think so. 584. Captain More Payne got 93. I mean, to be fair, it was Norwich at home. Decent option. All right, I'm going to leave it there. Thanks very much for joining in. Thanks very much for watching. Thanks for listening to my ranting. I'll be calmer for the midweek videos, pre-recorded videos. Have the usual stuff on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So next stream will be Thursday, 9 o'clock. I'll have my team thing, which will basically be the transfer I chatted about quite a lot today. And then Wednesday with the preview. I don't know what we'll talk about. I'll put that out on YouTube and Twitter and stuff like that. But yeah, thanks for tuning in. If you want to check out Patreon, if you want to get a Slack invite tonight, I can probably do it tonight if it's within the next hour. Otherwise, I'll get to them tomorrow. Make sure to click the link in the description below and check that out. Support the stream a little bit further. Give the stream a like if you haven't already, by the way. Subscribe if you're new. And if you've not already checked it out, I will sort this out next time. Check out OneFootball. Click the link in the description below, or just search OneFootball on Android or iOS. I will be off to cry myself to sleep tonight. Not really. Look, there's plenty of points to play for. I'll be here every week regardless. And if anything, you can recalibrate how you listen to these streams. If I start doing poorly, you can just ignore everything I say and know exactly what not to do. But yeah, I will see you for the videos on Tuesday, Wednesday, and I'll be back streaming Thursday at 9 o'clock. Enjoy your week. Hopefully you've not got too many transfers to make. You can just relax, unlike me. Otherwise, I'll catch you later.